kind of children that we encounter, usually what we say is that these children didn't have the chance to choose where they were going to be born or who they were going to be born to. Just a very typical example. Today, you've come to witness what we've done here at the Lima Cluster Schools. And if I tell you how we had to make bold steps, like reaching out to brands, asking people for support, yes, and you can tell like it's very daring, and no one taught me to be daring.
I don't think, okay, I have a mindset that you don't just help anyone at all. Because people are ungrateful, it backfires. So how do you decide your beneficiaries to pick people that you want to help? Thank you so much, Kezia, for agreeing to be on the show. Finally, finally, I get to have Kezia. I know, right? I get to have the Kezia Sanie on the Yayra Show, and it's really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Yayra.
And one thing I love to do is to have my guests introduce themselves. So tell us who is Kezia.
Okay, so my name is Kezia, and first of all, I like to identify more as a humanitarian than as my profession, which is being a lawyer. And I've actually been running this NGO called For the Future organization since 2016. So this year we are 10 by the grace of God. And I've always been passionate about helping children because I believe that they are really vulnerable. And the kind of children that we encounter, usually what we say is that these children didn't have the chance to choose where they were going to be born or who they were going to be born to. So they just got born into certain circumstances that are beyond their control. And we see ourselves as the people that truly care about these children and want to make a difference in their lives. So that's what For the Future stands for. And so, I mean, apart from For the Future, I also do other things, but still in relation to social impact work. Like I'm on the board of trustees for the Head of State Award scheme. That is also helping young people to gain skills out of the classroom, so empowerment related. And then also I'm on the Global Shapers community as a member. And I'm also part of the Women Changemakers in Education Fellowship. So like my entire orientation is about impact. I'm passionate about it. And I'm even hoping to do so much more in this space and this area. So I see this 10 years anniversary as a new beginning for me to step up for greater heights. So that's all about me. Yes.
I mean, I've experienced it, and I said I've been following you for a while. I started it on LinkedIn, and then I've been following your works, and even experiencing what. I'm like, no, chaos. You are doing more, Kezia. And you started this in 2016. I'm sure when you were in high school.
Yes.
Would you say that it caused you to grow faster, looking at the responsibility you had?
So one thing I always say is that no one taught me that okay, do this one and this and this and do I had to learn on the job by myself, and obviously making all the mistakes and then making sure that I learn from them. So for me, I would say that yes, it has created it has made me grow really faster than I would have ideally, because I mean, not to say anything bad about my mates, but when I really compare, I see that God has been faithful, because in sacrificing my all for my calling, I've been able to develop personally in terms of my own, I'll say orientation, how I see life, yes, my mindset, how I strive for things. Because I mean, just a very typical example. Today, you've come to witness what we've done here at the Lima Cluster Schools. And if I tell you how we had to make bold steps, like reaching out to brands, asking people for support. Yes, and you can tell it's very daring. And no one taught me to be daring. The way I see the circumstance, no one has come and told me that you're not going to write to them
to come and support you.
When you see what you're trying to achieve or where you're trying to go, you yourself will have the conviction to go all out, and it also helps you to develop by yourself. So I would say that definitely, my life has taken a very different turn.
Has made you grow faster.
So much. Yeah.
But with helping these kids, these underprivileged kids, is there a point in this 10-year journey, have there been a point in this 10-year journey that there's a point you felt like you are doing everything you can, but it's not enough? Like, what else can you do? Have you felt like that, and how have you dealt with it to even celebrate 10 years in this month or last month?
Yeah. So you see, from afar, people see the work and everybody's like, oh, wow, you're doing so well. Oh, wow, this and that. But you see, when you are in and you know the vision, you never get satisfied because you clock one and you want to clock the next and you want to clock the next. So there's so many times when ideally you would say that, oh, FCF, like you guys have gone far, but deep down, I feel like, no, we are still starting. Because, I mean, as human beings, never set a target and get comfortable because that's what makes you start to go down. When you clock, you need to go up and up and up. So for me, I'll say yes, we've done so many things, touched so many lives. Even if you see the beneficiaries that we have currently in school that we are sponsoring, like
from where they started to now,
and even some of them, even their
amazing.
physique, you can see that someone literally, you can see that this person was like malnourished, but you can see like they're putting on weight, they're looking nice, but you still feel like there's so many other children out there that you want to support. So you cannot just stop there, but you need to continue striving harder so that other children can also benefit. Yeah. So for me, there's so many moments that I feel like we are not there yet, even though we've made a lot of strides, but I still believe that there's so much more to be done because there's so many other children that we need to reach out to. So yes, I always feel like we are not there yet, always.
But I'm curious, when it comes to selecting children to help, don't you like, because there are situations where haven't you felt like, hey, if I help this child, would in the long run, want to turn back, like would they get the results you want? That's contemplation, like with the kids you help, because I don't think, okay, I have a mindset that you don't just help anyone at all. We've had people ungrateful, it backfires. So how do you decide your beneficiaries to pick people that you want to help?
Okay, so I don't really help them with a mindset that maybe it will backfire. And I'm saying that because when you pick a child from a typical slum, there are only few times where they don't need the help. But you can already tell that they have the orientation where they actually want you to help them. So the only times when we feel like this person is just being difficult is when they are not meeting us halfway. So especially when I was in the university and I was really, really struggling with law school, like, law school is a lot. And I was mixing it with FCF. So typically when you go into the slums, there are many children that need help and actually welcome it more than those that don't do that. Yeah. So for us, we usually identify the children by recommendation.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Because we've already done so many outreaches such that people know that this is what we do. So most of the time, people will just say that, oh, I know this family here, like, can you come and have a look? So we'll go make an assessment, a first one, just know what the situation is like, go back, check if we can really help. Because one thing is, we don't like to start and then get stuck in the middle. So we want to make sure that we can continue at least to SHS, end of SHS, because every child we hope will get a sponsor because we try to connect them to sponsors. But even if they don't get a sponsor, we will still take you all the way to SHS. Then after SHS, we try to teach you something that can help you to be established, because we're also trying to create the spirit of entrepreneurship in the children. So it doesn't really end at just, taking you to school. So I would say that for us, all we are looking for in return is that they meet us halfway. Because especially when I was in law school, I didn't really have much time on my hand because law school was a lot and I was struggling. I was struggling to keep up. Even though I was doing pretty well, I still really needed to keep the balance. So I needed the mothers, especially the single mothers, to at least help to a point. But you have a typical mother that you will visit the school randomly to visit the child, and the child wouldn't even go to school. And the excuse that, oh, and then they may ban or say, oni, as a oni shoe, and oni. Sometimes it's like a mindset thing. What you're trying to do, they themselves, like, they're in so much hardship. And mind you, they have like 8 other children, and you're helping one. So they are still really like burdened. And it's like, yeah. So one thing that we adopted that's really helped us is taking them to boarding school.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
I realized,
So we partner with a private boarding school, and it helps them to really focus. Once they're in school, they stay in school. They don't go out playing. They do their prep. They have teachers to take care of them, supervise them, and all that. And it helped us so much. And they're doing well in their academics more than when they were in day school. Because day school, when they close and they go home, even someone to help the homework, you will not get. You have to pay for a teacher to go and help. Look how expensive it is. And then again, they'll go and play. Because when they get to communities, the other children playing, they will not even think
about homework.
It was a lot. So I'll say the only thing is that we just always wish that they'll meet us halfway. That's what makes it difficult. But apart from that, they always embrace the support we give them. And for me, that with the transformation I've seen with the children, from Elizabeth to Comfort to Delight to Prince Kojo, there's no telling that it is definitely yielding some fruit. So there's no way that I would ever feel like, oh, maybe I'll not see it even anymore. I have not had anything like that. So for me, I would say as long as we are putting in the work, there's definitely going to be some results out of it. Yeah. So I think that definitely the children are doing much better.
Beautiful. You're doing so well. When you were introducing yourself, you made a list. It was a whole long list. And I mean, at your age, you sit in rooms and you sit on tables with people with decades of experience. I've seen some, usually because I say I follow you, I see you post them, talk about them. I'm like, how do you enter those rooms and own your voice and know that you were part of this? You don't feel intimidated, you don't feel out of place. How do you do that?
Yeah. So as a young person, if you are equipped in experience and in knowledge, there's no place that you can enter where you should feel intimidated. And I'm saying that because the people that I sit on the board with at the HOSA, the Head of State Awards scheme, I have been running FTF for 10 years. And they've also been doing the work they've been doing and all that. So I do have some experience that I can come and share, right? And when it even comes to young people, like, our energy is different. So I tell you, like, they're always looking forward to hearing what I had to say. And it's always fresh energy. Like, I remember, like, when we were about to have the Gold Award presentation, we just had it yesterday, and we had the honor of having the president, who is our chief patron, in attendance. And I made some suggestions to them about inviting certain people, certain caliber of people that would support the work and all that. And like, they were all like, wow, what tenacity. Yes. And so for me, the confidence, the tenacity. So if you have those qualities, there's no way that you'll be there and feel intimidated, because you're already coming with something and you know what you're carrying. So I always encourage young people that try to find yourself in certain activities. Like, I know there's so many young people that work with us at FTF today. And I know that due to the fact that they're working with us, they're also learning something different. They're also equipping themselves. They're also getting to meet people. And these are the kind of experiences that you have that will open other doors for you. Because I know so many FTF people that, because of FTF, they've gotten jobs. Because of FTF, they've been able to travel outside the country to study. Because of FTF, other people have also started their own initiatives. So these are the kind of experiences that help us all to build, such that whenever we are called upon to higher places, we definitely will be able to contribute.
Because you've had experience.
And even for the Head of State Award scheme, it was someone that follows my work and sees my work that recommended me for the board. I was duly vetted, and they thought, yes, I would be good enough for the board. So it's by merit. Nobody will call you to be on something that you are not able to contribute nothing.
See it, and they know you have the potential.
Definitely. So build your portfolio such that when they are calling, they ask me to bring my CV. I sent my CV and I thought I would be a good fit. So always be ready for the opportunity. Because when it comes and you're not ready, it will just slip you by. And you may never know when next you get the opportunity.
So do you believe that opportunity comes by once?
I don't think it's by once, but it seasonal.
It's seasonal.
It's not by once, but it will come and it will, another one will come and it will go. And so you need to know the seasons and align. Yeah, align. Otherwise, when it goes, it will come again, but it may take some time. Yes.
I know for a while, I think I've heard you talk about it, or I read it somewhere. There's a time that you experienced cyberbullying, where you were disturbed online, they were bullying you online,
times,
many times. Ghana. How have you dealt with those moments? Did they impact you, or you were like thick skin? I'm not minding them. I'm not paying attention to them. How have you navigated those situations?
I don't think I've got thick skin yet. I think I'm still on my way.
On your way,
but definitely the beginning was harder than now. Now, if I see it, I've been through it before. But then those times, like, it was very painful. Because one thing about me is that I can always stand somewhere and boldly say that I am true to myself. I know what I'm doing, and I do it with a lot of dignity and integrity. So there's no one that can point and say that you are using this thing to do this or this or that. It's always like an agenda, right? And sometimes people like to talk about things that they cannot understand. And people like to pull. And I realize that a lot about those that have things to say, because I'm like, you don't even know me. You don't know what we are doing. You don't know what it's about. But just because one person says something which is not true, you hop on it. And that's what even makes it more painful, because I'm like, hey, so if it was true, maybe it will not be as painful as if it's not true. So there were many times that I felt really bad about people saying things about me. It's just the extent that they were even saying I was doing money laundering. I was running an NGO for my own benefits. Look, like the number of sacrifices that we have to make to be here. My team members are here today. Ask any of them who is being paid something for being here today. Like we sacrifice the whole day, sometimes even on an empty stomach, to be able to do these kind of things that we do for the children. So there's no one that's even getting paid in our organization. Just sometimes we like to sort out a few people with transport and give them something to eat and all that, but it's purely voluntary. So for me, I would say that it's hard, but if you're true to yourself, you always come above it. Because today, I have never had to speak, I never had to like go and respond to someone or anything, but people have seen for themselves that we are still here today. Even if you thought that perhaps we're being supported by a certain kind of people, a certain kind of government, or not, government has changed hands, but we are still here. And today we've supported 800,000 of children. We are still here. So if indeed what you were saying was true, we should have followed up by now. Yes. So I believe more in staying true to myself and staying on it such that we don't make what people are saying about us appear to be true. Because if I go down because of what someone said, then it's actually true. So those times people are like, hey, why are you still on X? Like, why won't you leave? Like, just close the account. Like, if they're stressing
I feel like X is even one of your active accounts. So.
Yes, because that's why I used to tell a lot of the children's stories. And I said, no, I won't let them drive me away, because if they drive me away, they've won, and I'll not let them win. So I'm still here with them. And even when they are doing their agenda, I still win. In the midst of when they whatever they're doing, I still go and post my thing. I still go and post. One thing that helped me a lot was blocking. Like I used to block people, mute people, and it has cleansed my TL a lot. So these days, I see very little of that. Yes, but I stand my ground. I go and post. I post whatever I want, whenever I want to. Like, you can say whatever I want to say, I'll just block you and move on. Yes, like, for peace of mind.
Okay, so coming to talk about the fact that I believe there's always been the conversation of you being privileged and as a result. But would you say that because of your position, yes, you've had some good opportunities that has opened up to you to certain opportunities. Yeah. And how have you ensured that aside those opportunities or that privileged position you find yourself in, your work is still real, it's still impact, and that's the focus?
Yeah. So you know, one thing is that people don't really know my background or where my parents had to come from to give us this kind of life. Both of my parents actually have very humble backgrounds. My mom never really had her dad in her life. Yes, she had to go through a lot of like moving from family members, where she was literally like serving them, you know, serving
People
as
don't really
like,
know what they are talking about.
My mom dropped out from school at some points, couldn't go to uni and had to start sewing. My mom was doing like all this seamstress stuff for like 30 years plus, yes, because she couldn't go to uni. My dad only went to uni like 2020. Yeah, so my parents actually had the tough life. When they got married, they were living in Bubuashi in a self-contained where they share the bathroom, where like you have a roaster, where like my mom will have her turns to go and scrub and all. I was born in that Bubuashi home. And then for some time we're staying in Dakuman for years. For years. We had only 2 rooms in Dakuman. Yeah. But you see, one thing is that if you know my father, and I think I get my tenacity from my father, because my father has always been the one that will chase the opportunity. My father will go above and beyond to want something more for himself. And that is the kind of spirit that I also got from my father. So my father didn't see it as, oh, well, I was born into this circumstance, so I will leave it as that. But my father strived very hard. When we were growing up, my father had a shop, was selling computers, CDs, whatever. He started to travel. Now he was selling CCTV cameras and all that. He actually opened a shop in a company in Circle where he was selling, expanding little by little. My father was a true hustler.
Quick one. Thank you so much for watching the episode to this point. Like the video if you're enjoying it and you found it insightful so far. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, what you think about the episode. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any episode immediately it's uploaded. And share with a friend or with someone that you know needs to hear this conversation too. Now let's head back into the conversation.
And 5 of us, my father took care of us and made sure that each one of us will have the best. So from that, I remember I went to Mother of Mercy in North Kanishi. I went to God's Grace International School. I went to Wesley Girls High School, and all of those stages, my father would tell us that he is making sure that he's investing because we are his investment. So he will give us the best of the best. My father will hold our hand, take us to school. Even when times were hard, he'll go and beg the beggar that, oh, we'll pay, don't worry,
Because I feel
five
like
of
when
us.
people see Kezia, what is hard and Kezia? They're
Oh,
not in
yes.
the same statement.
No, you see, so that is because of my parents. My parents made sure that we didn't go through the hardship that they went through. So yes, we actually had the life that was of, like, I would say, dignity, because my parents didn't have that. So I remember the first day I was going to West Girls High School. My father took me by himself, went to check my name on the board. I mean, I made it. He was so proud of me. He told me how, I mean, he wanted me to study hard. From God's grace, I had 7 ones and 2 twos. And I was so, like, I was beating myself. I was like,
No, you didn't
me,
do
I wanted to
it.
get 9 ones. I didn't do it.
Because Wesley Girls, your focus. That was
Of
the
course,
school.
my cousins went to Wesley Girls.
Okay.
My father wanted me to go to Wesley Girls. And I'm the first, so, yeah, so I went to 7 ones. I told myself that, me, the Wesley Girls, when I'm leaving, I'll leave with 8 A's.
Let's
Because I couldn't
go.
make it. So I told my father, I promised my father I would get 8 A's. And all through that time, I went to West Girls in 2016. That's even when I started FTA. That's when my father wasn't.
You started right from Form 1? Like,
Yes, from Form 1. Yes.
Wow.
And then even our classmates had friends in other schools. And that's how even Aaron and people from Infantipim, at this school, even schools in Akalaboni, they came to join. So it became like a movement. So I promised my father I'll make 8 A's. And you see, because I started for the future, and I was also drama club president, I was then again busy in school. So I was just all over the place. But at the end of the day, I made 8 A's in Wasi. And then I got admission to University of Ghana. Then again, my father took me to school.
I see why you appreciate your father a lot. On
Yes,
your
my father
status.
took me. And all that my father wasn't in parliament. My father wasn't in politics. My father took very good care of us, even before politics. That's why I don't let what they are saying get to me, because I know the sacrifices that he's made for us to get here. Obviously for the whole family, because my mom was also sewing, but her sewing wasn't like on a large scale. It was like little by little, also supporting my father. But my mom has always also had the orientation of being like a supportive wife. So she hasn't wanted to like go back to school, and no, it's my father that has been like resilient. He wanted that for us. And today, all my siblings, the last 2 are twins, and they are in high school about to write WASI, and my sisters are all done with uni, and they are doing their masters. I haven't done any masters
They are doing
because
their
I had to
masters,
do the Ghana School of Law. So my father and my mother made all the sacrifices for us to not go through what they went through. And so yes, I would say that definitely I've been more privileged than so many children or even young people in Ghana, especially when my father went to parliament.
But then it doesn't nullify the work you do.
No, it has never nullified the work I do, because it will surprise you to know, and people that know me personally know that many of the times the opportunities that I get, my father actually asked me, hey, now where so like he's actually always surprised, always. Only a few times that my father, I'll say, oh, I want to meet this person. Can you help me? He will call the person for me. And I will not say anywhere to deny that my father did that. But my father has never given me like money, like take this money and go. No, I always had to work for it. I had to write letters. We learned how to write letters by ourselves, go to companies. I remember those times, we went to pitch to get the water and the drinks that they gave us. Head of state awards team was my senior, Kowe Suman, who then was a president's lawyer. And by then, he got to know me through one lady that runs a salon, who happens to be his sister-in-law.
Okay.
And there's another lady in the salon who told him to look out for me. Mind you, and Kosima knows this, that we had been chasing him. Can you imagine? Same party with my father. We had been chasing him to help us. But, sometimes I understand, because there's so many people that, like, they're not genuine, but they like to get help. So they're also careful who they associate with. But when Constance put in a word, he came to follow me, and that's how he recommended me. But people think my father went to Jubilee House to say, oh, add my daughter. Like, it's just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. But by the grace of God, you see, it's not just about recommendation, because they needed my CV.
If you didn't have the potential, you didn't have remained there or maintained the position.
My place of privilege has also given me the opportunity to help other people. And I don't take it for granted that God has blessed us and our families to be able to give, a little to also help another person. Because back then, not to say that we were rich and we had it all figured out, but just the fact that we can sacrifice our own chop box food from all the classes in Wesley Girls and beyond to go and donate to a community. It's enough for us
to even get
say
everyone
that we
to
have
donate
done,
for.
yeah, we have done
Wow.
something. Because back then we didn't have sponsorship. Mind you, companies will sponsor people that have a portfolio. Because if you don't have anything to show, we
Why
won't
would
give
they
you.
sponsor you?
It is now that people want to
Come
give us
on
because
board.
they've seen that we've done something in the past. But back then we're sacrificing our own troubled food. Nobody gave us anything to do anything. So it's just by the grace of God that we are here today, and we are still doing
I'm
our
really
best.
thankful like for this story.
Yeah.
I'm glad you've spoken on this. But then we'll be wrapping up soon.
Sure.
But one question I have for you, when you started it, at what point did you know this is what you want to do? Because I believe something triggered you wanting to donate to underprivileged children. And something to trigger, okay, I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. What triggered that?
So
At
you
what
know, I
point?
mentioned that I stayed in Dakuman. If you know Dakuman, you know that from Kaneshi, North Kaneshi, and you start going straight down to like Dakuman, Seku Station. That's where we were living for years. My grandma is still at Fadama, and then my dad, that's my mom's mom, Safadama, and then my dad's mom was also at North Kaneshi. So we're literally growing up in Dakuman, and Dakuman has a very high rate of Kaya women and their children. So you know, I already mentioned that my father came from a very humble background. Like his siblings, like are still struggling to today. My father still supports his own siblings and all that. So I was seeing firsthand a lot of these things happening around me. Where I'm seeing my own father like give out support to his siblings. My mom also like supporting other people, and then children coming to knock on our gates in Dakuma to ask for food and all that. So it's like I was seeing a lot of these things happen around me. So I couldn't do anything about it. But I remember my sisters know this, like I'll write songs about orphans and we'll be singing it.
You used to write poetry too. Did you used to do poetry?
It wasn't poetry, but like I'll just write a song. It's like I don't know what. We're just playing games, and then I'll say, oh, let's sing songs about orphans. Well, let's perform and all. So it's like I had it at the back of my mind. I couldn't do anything about it. But when I went to Wesley Girls High School, we're actually doing an activity about to vacate. We're mixing hair creams together to vacate, and for our hair, we wanted to grow because we come home and we want to do rasta
and things. I know.
And then we saying, oh, this one is for the future. This one is for the future. I don't know how, but it was like everyone was just excited about the phrase for the future. So mind you, I had already had that thing at the back of my mind that I want to do something for children because I had seen it in my community, and I had been talking about it even in God's grace. Because I remember on our, I think it was 3rd or 4th anniversary, one of my classmates came and she was like, Kezia, you've done the things that you used to say that you do. I've even forgotten. But like, I was talking about it a lot. I want to do that, but I didn't have the opportunity. So when I told them, mind you, at the time also, children were from Kakumdo, because that's where Wesley Girls, they were coming to our pantries to steal our food. And I saw it from a place, that it was from a place of hunger. And I was concerned. So I thought that rather than having them come to steal our food, why don't we just gather them and then give them some out and then go to communities to donate? So we had a teacher, an English teacher at the time that also had an NGO called I Was Here. So she really told us that, oh, okay, if you want to start this, just meet at the mall, find a community, go and donate this and this and that. And so we had her help for the first one, being a collaboration with I Was Here. And beyond that, we've always been on our own. Me being the leader.
High school, you were doing
yes,
it every year.
vacation. Wow. We'll go and do a donation every vacation. My friends from like all the high schools will come around. We're like 70 plus and we'll bust ourselves. Sometimes, I remember those times, I would say, everybody bring tea-roll from your house. Everybody bring this from your house. Yeah, everybody bring dress from your house and we just pack it together, put it on top of the bus, and then we'll go into the communities. Like thousands and thousands of children have benefited. Even before we got a partnership with School in a Bag in the UK, even before we started getting sponsorship from Bella Kwabel Beverage, today Piva, Pizza Man, Chicken Man, Indomie in the past. Today we had Twisco from Promasidor. Even Cowbell has supported us before. All those things were just because they saw that we put in the effort back then from 2016 to today. And that was even before we started sponsoring children through school. So mine, it was just like outreaches for years before we said, oh, we wanted to make more impact. More impact means that not just one day donation, but beyond one day, what else can we do to support them? We thought of putting them in school, giving them access to, skill training. Like we do digital skill training with Jumbo Space. It's called Click for Change. So we teach them how to do PowerPoint, how to go on the internet to search for something, how to present.
These are kids that you're taking through school?
No, these ones are under the Click for Change initiative. Okay. So because we have different initiatives, we have different beneficiaries for them. The Student Training and Education Project is the one that we sponsor children through school. Now there are 12 of them, technically 13, but one of them is going back to the north. So even though we still are ready to support him. He's not really in Accra now, so 13. And then we have Click for Change. We've run 2 cohorts for now, and each cohort is 20 children from the La community. Then we have Share Aid. That's the one that we partner with School in a Bag in the UK, and then Trashy Bags Africa. So we send like I'll say eco-friendly bags because they are from all these plastic waste that they make the bags, and then they make it like fully equipped with learning materials and hygiene kits, and we go to community thousands and thousands of bags that we donate. So we have that one as well. So that's Student Training and Education Project, STEP, and then we have Share Aid. Then we have Click for Change. And then later, we even started Smart Start. That one, we had some beneficiaries going to write BEC. So we're just teaching them like certain things that they were lacking in to write the BEC, certain tips that they needed to know and all of that. And then later, we even started Project Future Ready. That one is like orphanages. We try to bring resource persons together to just go to orphanages. Instead of the usual donations, we teach them something. So that's Project Future Ready. And then for now, too, we want to have the FCF Village. We launched that in 2021. We are still fundraising for it, but we had the chief of Achim Jonas to give us free land for it. So we are just hoping and waiting.
You build on it and then it will come to life. Beautiful.
Yes.
So you are a lawyer and then you also identify yourself as a humanitarian. Have you had that, even though when you're introducing yourself, you introduce somebody, yes, when you had to choose one and have like one focus, or you equally want to balance both, or is there any plan to just go with being a humanitarian and focusing on that?
So I'm sure you realize that clearly, like there's a calling on my life to run this NGO. And I say that because there are so many instances where you can wake up and really feel tired. There's, apart from the fact that there are so many children you need to reach out to, like personally, you ask yourself, what are the kind of benefits you even get from this? But you just pour yourself out, and your team, everybody's pouring themselves out. But for us, like, it's really fulfilling. So you can tell like, it's a pure calling. So when I was in uni, even when I was studying law and so Makola, one thing I told myself was that I didn't want to get to a point where I had to stop running FTF because I knew that it was my calling and I wanted to see it through to the extent of even setting up the FTF village and all. Like, I have crazy dreams for it. So one thing I told myself was that I wouldn't let the law take me away from, yes. So when I got called to bar, I did my pupillage in a law firm where like it was really rigorous, but I learned a lot. Except I felt like it wasn't for me because I couldn't do that rigorous thing like 8 to 8 every day. And then the weekend, like I'm completely tired. And I realized that the organization was lacking because I had built a certain momentum, even traveling, being on platforms, talking about the work, spotlighting by the Global Student Prize, by the Dr. Odin Park Awards. And I didn't want it to go away. Even being in the platforms such as the World Bank and talking about my work. Like imagine that one day they're looking for it and then it's done, right? So I couldn't let that slide. So one thing I told myself was that I'll get a place where I can merge the two. And God being so good, today I'm with Zoe Acha and Co, where I'm even running social impact initiatives with them. So last month we actually, no, that was in February, so 2 months ago, because it's February. We did a capacity building session for the Human Trafficking Secretariat at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. So those are the kind of things I do. Offering some pro bono work as well for vulnerable people. We've written to DOVSU, we've written to the social welfare department, and we are telling them that we are available if they have anything legal that is also social impact work. I am available to do it. Apart from that, obviously I also get to do some other cases, just learning, experiencing everything. So I just have the best of both worlds at this point, and I'm just glad that and grateful that I have it that way. So no, there's none that's lacking.
That's lacking. You've balanced all equally. But if there's a young African out there who also find themselves in a similar situation and they feel like they have to choose one, what would you tell that person?
Well, for me, I think that if you're passionate about something, there's no way that you get to a point where you think you have to choose one. Because there are times when people can even sacrifice their career or their profession in order to actually do their passion. So if you're truly passionate about it, there's no way that you want to sacrifice. But if you think that, I don't know for them, but me, I can't always speak for myself. I'll just advise you that just try to find your balance. Because sometimes life can be a lot. Even for me, I sometimes wonder to myself, like, hey, am I making enough time for my friends? Like, just as I got married, like, am I making enough time for my home, my husband, just so that I don't lack in any, yes. So sometimes I just say, oh, I want to take a little break, I'm tired. I do get burnt out a lot, because it's a lot. the law firm work, FTF. Sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be there. I just want to go outside, cry a little, and just scream out my loud. Sometimes
Enjoy
how I
yourself
expect
and
things to go
relax.
don't
It
really
don't go
go
the
that
same
way,
way.
and it gets to me because the way I want to plan it, it doesn't go that way. Like it makes me feel like, hey, I failed or something. So it comes a lot. But one thing I've learned is to always stay true to the mission and the vision. I think I've said that earlier. And I always tell my team, remind yourself of the mission and vision, because there are days when
Keep
you
you
wake up
going.
and you don't want to
Do
do it.
anything.
But if you remember why you started, you know what you're trying to achieve. And another thing is, I say, it will break my heart so much to see that we've taken these children to this point and then you leave them hanging. Like, hey, what am I going to? How can I tell Elizabeth that, sorry,
We are
I've
done,
had enough, so
no.
bye. I can't do that, you see. So, in fact, that's enough motivation. Yes, because there's some kind of accountability, personal accountability to know that these children, you can't just drop them. You have to get to a certain elevation. So day in, day out, you have to follow your passion as a young person. First of all, identify what you're passionate about. Yours may not be children. Yours may be about the environment. There's so many people doing things in climate action, so on and so forth. Try to find yourself in a community of people who understand it. Because trust me, sometimes you'll be talking about something, you may not understand how I feel, but someone like Kelvin of Souls of Hope will understand how I feel. Someone like Matthias of Aquafresh will understand how I feel, because they go through the same thing that I go through as founders. So align yourself with the community of founders. And then trust me, those are supported. They'll even share opportunities with you. They will share experiences with you. Matthias at the beginning of every year will create like a change makers hangout. Oh, let's talk about what we are doing. Let's talk about opportunities and all that. And even for us at FCF, I'm trying to do something like that as well. Because I know many people, young people, that also come to me and ask me, hey, how do I find my balance? I want to start something. How do I do it? So God being so good, the Swiss ambassador is ready to host us. So we are going to have conversations on impact. And we are calling it the Change Makers Dialogues, the FCF Impact Summits, where we are going to be talking about everything impact, trying to find people doing similar work to what we are doing. Because one thing I say is that this space is a place of collaboration, not competition. So try to find people doing what you're doing. Today, Kelvin came to support us from Source of Hope because he is also passionate about young people, schoolwork, education, children, whatever. And it helps us to share resources. And it's always bigger when we share resources. So I'll say find your synergy, find your tribe, and always remember why you started, because there's so many reasons why you want to give.
It's ending on a great note, but any young African out there, I want you to look at the camera and speak to them who is unsure, they don't know the next step to take. They feel like giving up, but they want to build something, build a life that is meaningful. There are people out there who admire you and are inspired by you. What would you tell them?
Me, I'll tell them that please don't just look at me. Oh. Don't just look at me, because everybody's story is different and everybody has their own struggles. But one thing I've noticed in my own journey is that hard work really pays. You see, sometimes people feel like, oh, when you sit back, the opportunities will come to you. But you need to strive harder. Like there are days when we get a lot of rejections, a lot of no's. And if you know change makers, they'll tell you that their emails are flooded with no's and rejections. But don't feel like, oh, one person rejected me. So one thing I know for sure, and I tell myself, is that there are people out there that I'm looking for who are also looking for me. So if I come to you and you say no to me, well, you're lost. And guess what? I was not even looking for you in the first place. I'm not looking for you. Yeah, so encourage yourself with things like that. It's like wake up and feel like you can do it. Some days are really hard, but other days are much better. And once you find what you're passionate about, make do with the resources you have available to you. At the time I was starting, I had my own showbox food and I had my friends. I had my family. So start with your family, your friends, your own resources. Yours may be just your phone. And tell your story, own your story. One thing I do is I always I do something like a personal, how do you call that?
Retrospection or
No,
reflection?
it's like a personal blog.
Okay,
Personal
okay,
blog.
for yourself, just
you're
for you.
blogging your life. Today, what happened today? I was just gonna say, oh, so today for our
Sort of
10th
your
anniversary,
diary.
like your diary, hey diary, today I went to do this and this and this. And one thing is that it works like magic, because there's so many people out there that see your work and admire it because you are telling your own story. And you can be in Ghana here and someone in Europe is watching your work and will reach out and say, hey, how can I support? Many of the children that we support in school today are people like our children that got support from people that are abroad that didn't know about us, but just would say, hey, how can I support you? And if I didn't tell my story, they wouldn't know. So own your story, tell your story, start from where you are with the resources you have. And the days that are hard, just, take a little break, breathe a little bit, and then come back again stronger. And the last thing I'll say is that build a solid team. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. But you need to find people that have the same synergy as you. And some of them come and they go, it's all right. People have different stages in life. They feel like they can help you today, they will leave. If you think that you want to engage them for a year, engage them for a year. Appreciate them, give them certificates. If it's a stipend, we don't give stipends because we can't afford it. But when they come, we'll give them some lunch. Sometimes some people will come and take videos, pictures for you, like give them something for transport because you may not be able to afford it. But work with people that you already know because they will understand where you're coming from and they will help you. And try to build a team where you are able to tell the capabilities of each person. So in our team, we have people that can write. They are the ones that will be helping to write grants, writing captions, publicity. All that. Some people are very interested in social media. Some people can talk like me. So when I'm going for an interview, I'll go with Michelle Susu because Michelle Susu can talk about what we are doing. Some people are good with going to the market. They want to just go and buy things. They will do procurement. Yes, they'll do procurement because they will take the list, go and buy. We have people that have gone through the professional ranks to become accountants. They're the ones handling our finances. And you know, God being so good, because we were in high school when we started, there are so many people that have become professionals today, just like me. So we have Abena, who's a secretary. She's a lawyer. Aaron, the vice president, is a marine engineer. We have people that are in HR. We have people that are in engineering. So we have the people. So try to build that kind of network because they are the ones that will help to drive what you're doing. So yes, non-profits, I always say, is very hard, but depending on how you station yourself or you position yourself, you'll be able to get the support. I knew I said the last thing, but I'll say another thing. People support who they like, and people support what they like. So people might be saying that, hey, she's getting everything and all that because I've built a network with people where if I come to them, they will hardly say no to me because it is me.
Yes.
It is me. And sometimes they also want to know what they will get in return. So they know that, Kezia, if we support her, at least even she will talk about what we are doing. If she goes somewhere else, she will tell someone, come and buy from these people because they help. So be that kind of person where people feel like once they bring something to you, they will get something in return because in this life, nothing is for free. Like everything has to be a give and take, right? Yeah. So that's how to really sail through this space.
Insightful, very insightful. So 2 truth without filters, quick fire, then we wrap it up.
Hey,
so the first one is, are you ever tired of always being seen as a strong one?
Of course. All the time. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm genuinely tired.
Some people are so commenting, they expect you to.
I'm like, can you stop calling my phone? I'm tired, guys. I'm tired.
You don't know.
But
you don't know the next
and the
step.
funny thing, even in my tiredness, I'll go and tell someone, no, don't worry. Like,
I'll be
it'll
fine.
okay. Don't worry, you'll be fine. So, you see, there are some people that were born for this. Yes,
it's your calling.
It's your calling. You're born for it. So even in your tiredness, you find yourself even like building yourself up to encourage another person. Like, hey, you can do it. Hey, like it's all right. I remember there's a fellow lady ran an NGO. She was complaining. She was crying. I'm like, me myself, I don't even have everything figured out. But this is what I can tell you, this and that. So yes, I get tired of being a strong person, but it doesn't change the fact that I have to still show up for other people. Yeah, and be there for them.
I love that.
And
so
it's
the
okay.
final one.
It's okay.
Okay. So the final one, if the spotlight disappeared, there's no visibility on anything you're doing, would you still feel fulfilled?
I will because if for 10 years I've built this such that people can stand somewhere and say, oh, I think I know you, like, I follow you. Sometimes I'm even like, are you sure? It's not me. It's not me. Aisha is like, I see you. I know FTF. I think that's enough. So even if we get to a point where, and I believe by God's grace, as I'm saying that we are still
going
day one, we won't get to that point. But I mean, the years that we have built and the work that we have done is enough to feel fulfilled. It's enough such that I will not need any more, like so much more that I will feel like, hey, because it didn't come again, it's enough. Because once our children are in school, once our children are doing well, it's okay for me. I'm okay. That is the higher goal for us at FTF. For us to look back 10 years to come and then we'll see Elizabeth like as a professional, a nurse,
so much fulfillment,
a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. Me, I don't even mind if they're not lawyers or doctors. Because one thing I say is that I'm not looking at people that are even excelling in academics alone. I'm looking at people that can be all round, people that are doing well in whatever field they find themselves, footballing, artists, social media, dancing, whatever, musicians. We just want people to find where they are good at and build on it and become who they are supposed to be in society. And not just that, they have to go back to their communities and build other children up and change the trajectory of their families, break the cycle of poverty so that we can say that, oh, because this sister was supported by FTF, today we too are out of poverty. So that's the higher dream for us at FTF.
Thank you so much, Kezia, for this insightful conversation. I've found out certain interesting things. Don't listen to social media. Don't listen to social media. You hear the story yourself. Thank you for staying with us today.
Thank you.
And yes, we'll see you in our next episode.